at St James's Park. I say, 53 you guys on here. I'll just get the chat filter right, so I'm saying everything that you guys are saying, because I'm sure it's probably got a few comments in. Yep, as we see. A little skim around to see what's going on. A few of the players going through their warm downs, etc. Right, my thoughts on that one. Minute 1 to 90, beaten by the better side. Wasn't even close. I think if it was a little reality check, if anybody needed a reality check, that Newcastle aren't going to have a walk in the park against every team that they play against. I think generally, as I said on these videos, I don't think the performance levels were great in midweek. I don't think they were great again today, but the level of opposition was massively different. I'm a big fan of, as I said in the videos earlier this week, of Iraola's work. I think he did a proper number on his opposite number today. I think they were dynamic, front line, really workmanlike midfield with good technical quality. I thought the two standout players, two of the best players I've seen at St James's Park today, this year, by some distance, is the centre half, Huijsen, I'm rubbish with pronunciations, and Kerkez. I think that those two today would grace most teams. I thought there was a cool calmness about the centre half. He was very tight to Isak a lot of the time, didn't give him an inch. It was outstanding defensive performance. And Kerkez was physical. He went toe to toe with Joelinton. He gets stuck in, good left foot, quick, technically brilliant. I just think Newcastle were beaten by a much better team today. And sometimes you have to hold your hands up. I've been having debate. Having a couple of Barneys here on the press box. I thought Newcastle weren't very good today, but I didn't think they were really very good in midweek either, and they were just playing a level of opposition who defensively were shambles. Newcastle weren't allowed to play their own game today. Bournemouth came to St James's Park and didn't allow. They played Newcastle at their own game. They pressed high. They didn't give an inch. They'd obviously done their homework and just nullified everything that makes Newcastle good. Squeezing the space really high up. Newcastle didn't have that extra pass to break through the press. There's some poor performances. We can't get away from that. Botman was poor today. Livramento was poor right, left, wherever he went, he was poor today. Lewis Hall, look, the lad's been outstanding this season. He had a proper off day. That first half was by his standards remarkably bad. Who else? Burn was alright. Shea came on. I thought it was the right change at the right time at half time to give that balance, because I thought Botman looked shaky as hell. But bringing Shea on made no difference. Shea did not warm to that game at all. He was very poor off the bench. The midfield just didn't. I thought Joelinton, although I got took a bit of criticism for saying I thought Joelinton was physical, really tried to drive the team on today, obviously to little effect. But I thought he could move away with a bit of a pass mark today. Tonali hoovered up some things, but the balance didn't work with him and Bruno today. Bruno came into the game in moments, and anything that was going to happen for Newcastle United was probably going to come from him, but just again didn't put in a great performance. The front three, Anthony Gordon, Isak never got a kick. Jacob Murphy played against probably the best left back I've seen here this season. That was probably the best left back performance, apart from anything that Lewis Hall's put in at times this season, that I've seen from Kerkez. So Murphy never got a kick. Gordon tried, but probably didn't get the change he'd hoped for out of playing, a slow centre midfielder. A good player, Lewis Cook, but a slow centre midfielder at right back. Just beaten by the better team. Who were more quick, dynamic, first to every ball from the very start. It's just one of those things. Right, I'm going to jump in the comments, because there's I'm just scrolling it. There's loads of you guys. Yeah. And that's what we like to see. Shizzy Montino gives me Bramble vibes, always a mistake in him. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are blinded by a perception of what they want to believe a footballer to be or whatever. Sometimes you just got to say, as you've seen, I don't think Tino Livermento's had a very good season. He had one or two really good performances mixed in with a set of really poor ones. He's a young lad though, and he's learning the game, so you've got to bring that into the equation as well and not be too critical. But I think if you say, as you say, I don't think Livermento's been great. So I'm not saying quite tight as Bramble vibes, but defensively he was shambolic today. He got really shown up, and he would know that if he's not defensively on it, his quality with the ball is lacking at times. Quality of the ball is genuinely lacking and needs to improve. but he's a good athlete and physical. So it's one of those things you balance off. You've got a good technical player, probably less quick, etc. in Lewis Hall on the other side. It's a balance, isn't it? But neither of them are good today. Let's be honest about it. Quip, first thing we need to give Bournemouth a lot of credit. Came here, played really well. I've done that, mate, and I agree with you 100%. All the praise of recent weeks has been well deserved. Need to quickly dust ourselves off and go again. That's a good shout, absolutely. Charlie Smith, Livermore is not the long-term answer. You can't be a Premier League fullback anymore and offer zero offensive output. Let's not forget we played as bad as this against Wolves. They just didn't take their chances. I was making that point to Dominic Sker, to Joe Buck of the Shields Gazette, and to Jordan Cronin. I was getting shouted down. I actually do think that. I think Wolves could have had goals. I think that defensively they gifted Newcastle opportunities. Look, Newcastle created more, but they were allowed to create more because it was against the level of opposition. I thought Bournemouth did not give Newcastle United a sniff, and I thought Newcastle were as poor today as they were on Wednesday. They won 1-3-0 and lost 1-4-1. It's just the level of opposition they were playing. We were never in the title race. I'm not talking about title race. I'm sorry, I'm not going into it. Charlie Smith, we lose the next 5 games now. That's what we do. We win in patches. I don't know if that'll happen. We'll see. Dean C, players let how down today. Charlie Smith again. We need to get a win over Bournemouth ASAP as well, or this will become a thing about how not being able to beat them. It already is a thing. Johnny Ola, this surely shows how much we need signings to freshen things up. I don't know if they're really going to do that. That's my understanding, so we'll have to wait and see. 199 of you guys on here, 26 likes. Let's have a couple more. Fits to play 8-4-7. The players are second best from the start. They did. They were second on everything. Tony Time Bridge. What the bloody hell happened there? I think there's plenty of people in the comments. I'll tell you that. Richard Woff. Stuff watch, but all credit to Bournemouth for being on the ball. Complacency killed the tune today. Tony Time Bridge. Eddie threw the match for the Cherries. I don't think so. Wafi Wahab. The day we get mature men who don't sulk play on our left wing, that'll be the day. Is it how conspiracy should just turn up for Bournemouth matches? Clearly a conflict of interest. That's a conspiracy that I'm not getting involved in. What a silly thing to say. FB Bournemouth were just very up for it. And I think that was actually a veiled criticism of Anthony Gordon. I thought he was a little bit stroppy at times today. I can't lie. I did see it close up. But I think he was just frustrated at his performance and the team's performance as well. Aidan Brophy, well, you can't win them all. We're beaten by the better team. Don't panic, it's only January, there's a long way to go. Team look a bit tired, I think so too. I do think they look a bit tired. James Rowell, this was always going to happen. With the PSR rules, there's only so much success you can sustain on a thin squad, especially when they're fighting on 3 fronts. FB, luckily Southampton next. Graham TC travels. Never saw that coming, or do we? Wolves never 3-0. They had chances. Bournemouth well-deserved quick start. Never stopped and we couldn't cope. Game too far maybe. Sloppy passing, no rhythm at any time. God, my comments have just jumped there. I don't want to miss anybody. I'm going to have to scroll back. Apologies, there is lots of comments today. Lots and lots. So let's find where we are. Barry Hogan, Liam, were Bournemouth that good or did we just not try? They did try. Bournemouth were good. Our defence was shocking. Bar Hall. Not sure, Barry. Respect your comments, respect your opinions. I thought Hall had his poorest game of the season today. Joe Linton looked a joke, looking for a fight. And Isak was never in the game. We deserved everything we got. Richard Woff, don't be surprised. Bournemouth gets beat next game. They'll be knackered after that performance. 20 Time Bridge, Hall was one of the worst today, I agree. Charlie Smith, Barry Hall was the worst player on the pitch. Barry Hogan, Kluivert was class. We could do a lot worse to try to tempt him. I don't know if he's our... I know that sounds weird if the lad scored a hat-trick today. And he is quite dynamic and he was very clever in the positions that he picked up today. I don't know, I just don't think he doesn't seem like the type of player that they're looking for, in my opinion, even though he's a very good player. Elliot Regan, that's my weekend ruin. Don't let it ruin it. Why? Never let things like this ruin your weekend. Go on, have a good time, man. James Rowell, we didn't do ourselves any favours. We gifted them the ball so many times, only Dubravka and Tonali on form. Jordy JJ, Eddie Howe shows far too much respect to teams on the south coast, notably including his former club. Not good enough. Cher was not fit to play. No, he didn't look it. Shieldsy won baffling, but didn't make a move for Marlon, who's great value for money. I'm not certain on that deal. I don't know. He might be a good player for them, but I'm not 100% sure that's the golden ticket everybody's suggesting that Aston Villa have signed there. So we'll wait and see. Great. Better performance than I remember his dad ever doing on this pitch. Barry Hogan, I got more paid off with our players laughing and joking when we're getting beat. We paid good money to support them, yet they didn't look like they were taking it seriously. I think you're going down. Look, I respect everybody's opinion on here, but I think you're going down some avenues there that just aren't right. I like to suggest this team isn't putting it in or isn't putting effort and don't really care and having a laugh. And look, at the end of the day, it matters a lot to everybody. It matters to them as much as it does us, but it's a game of football. And there are a bunch of lads running about on a pitch playing a game of football. They don't want to lose, but they're also going to enjoy playing it as well. And there's nothing... take the joy out of a game. That the only reason any one of us watching this loves the game is because of those moments where you're kicking a ball about in the back alley, or you're kicking a ball about on a piece of grass with two jumpers down, or a couple of, a net tied up against a couple of trees or whatever in a little back end, like I used to in Wall's End when I grew up. And it's a game of football. The lads are allowed to enjoy playing a game of football. Never take that away from it. Richard Wolf Toon, have that Wembley feeling again. James Rowell, can we make an offer on Semenyo, please? I didn't think he was all that great today, but maybe some people did. Tony Timebridge, what does that say? Lee Ham Ken RD. What is that? Just my name spelt really weirdly. James Rowell, give credit where it's due. Kluivert was very impressive. He was. Tony Timebridge, we got stuffed. Barry Hogan, how looked Foreman at the end. Needs to rip into them. Too many arrogant players out there. Barry, I just think you're going down avenues that just isn't it. You weren't saying they were arrogant when they were putting their bodies on the line at Arsenal. It's not arrogance. It's just you didn't like what you saw today. It doesn't mean they're an arrogant bunch of arseholes that suddenly turned up. Look, it's the same team that just won 9 on the bounce. They're a good bunch, they're a good group, and they're fighting for each other. It's not arrogance. Don't think that. I don't think that. It's your opinion and you're welcome to it, but I'm not agreeing with it today, unfortunately, in a lot of these comments. Adam Hopkins, can't win them all. Bournemouth were exceptional, best away performance at SJP for years. I agree with that. Concern we really collapsed, but hope it's a wake-up call rather than a real turnaround of form. Grip, I don't want the club to have to sell before June. If we have headroom to bring in a player, I do. If not, we go with what we have. James Rowell, Brentford 2.0. Barry Hogan, Liam, any news on Botman's injury? Was it an injury or was he hooked because he was not playing very well? I don't know that. Gary V, afternoon everyone, afternoon to you mate. David Coop, bad day at the office. We played like strangers. SGR, Bournemouth are incredible. That's how you beat Newcastle right now. Credit to them. They took the chances, unlike Wolves. But we also struggled. We got away with one. We dust off and go again. Grip, we got ourselves in the top 5. Need to show it's not all for nothing. Go on another run. Or the other clubs, to be honest. It's going to be tight this year. I think there's any doubt about it. I said that in midweek. All this talk of title this, title that. It's all rubbish, man. Newcastle are in a fight to get into Europe. They're in a fight for the Champions League. They still remain in that despite the result today. And it's going to be a tough one. We've got to keep going. Gary V, we look jaded, not at our normal levels, but sloppy in possession. Fair play Bournemouth, they took advantage. Ray 2424, off day, it happens. Well played Bournemouth, deserved. 9 wins out of 10 makes that easier to digest. DEC Bournemouth won the physical and mental battle today, that's fair. David Cook, so many balls, didn't beat the first man. Poor, wasn't it? Apart from the one that actually scored. I was disappointed actually. Newcastle started to win games. I said this to the lads. Started to win football matches apart from today, obviously. And all of a sudden that quirky ideas stuff, the different set pieces has gone out the window. Why just because you're winning do you suddenly change your set pieces, which some of the little things started to work? Just go back to it. Chris Phillips, well beaten, deservedly so, not at the races. Craig, shocking performance from everyone. SKS 010, it's my fault that we lost. I'm on holiday and didn't watch the game from my lucky spot. No worries, I'll be back in the next game. Well, I hope it's better for you when you do come back, and I hope you're having a nice holiday. Mark Byers did a job on us, simple as that. Our fullbacks were awful. That's a fair comment. The fullbacks were awful. I'm going to give it to Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall is allowed an off day or two, and he had one today because he's been bloody brilliant this season. I think Livermento's performances have not been bloody brilliant this season, but he's a young lad and he's got to improve, and I'm sure he will. Save the Rhino, Lewis Hall had a big reality check today. Kenzie XII, we shouldn't be losing anyone at home like that. Arctic Blastoid, that was embarrassing. Mark Byers, Kirk, linked with Liverpool, you can see why, definitely. David Cooper, poor, but can't take anything away from Bournemouth. Gary D, Bournemouth deserved that. We're awful against an injury hit team. Eddie had no answers. That Kirk's performance today and hoisting on Isak are two of the best performances I've seen any individual footballer here at St James's Park in a long time. Brilliant. SKS 010. Ref was horrible for both teams, I thought, though. Tony Timebridge, Kluivert and Semenyo were fantastic too. Joel Bailey, Mitchell needs to get some signings in. Mark Dawson. I mean, why are we always determined to put the responsibility of everything on one person when it comes to signings? It isn't just Paul Mitchell who deals with signings. Paul Mitchell can't magic PSR headroom. Paul Mitchell can't improve. So here we go into it. Paul Mitchell can't improve the squad immediately. Can't magic up people to buy other players to create headroom. Paul Mitchell can't improve commercial revenues. It's a collective in that sense. That Paul Mitchell is not a magician. And I think Mitchell, the way the things are here, the way that things have gone on, I think it's all for the positive. So I wouldn't be jumping down on top of Mitchell if they don't sign anybody in January, when the plan really isn't to sign anybody anyway. That's a club thing. The plan really at the moment isn't to sign anybody, so I'll be jumping on Mitchell. And I think a lot of the work that Mitchell will do will bear fruit, but it's not going to bear fruit when he's only been in the job 6 months. You don't bring a director of football in, as it's not. That's not the type of thing. It's more of a collective, and it's more of a longer term thing. So I'm really against this. I've heard a few people do it. They're like, right, because they don't like it. They don't like the idea of a director of football. Maybe that's where it comes from. But they're jumping on like, if they don't say anything, oh, it's Mitchell's fault, whatever. It's not really for me. It's not really the way I look at it anyway. Tonali streets ahead. Tonali posting about himself. Tonali streets ahead of every single player. Okay, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Liam. That's fair. Not that the lads who are sitting next to us didn't agree much with me today, but that's life. That's football. We have disagreements and we move on. Paul Featherstone, up early from Derby for my 7-year-old's first Premier League game, and then in tears we could not string past together. Paul, I feel heartily sorry for you. Heartily sorry for your Ben as well. To bring them up and that to happen, you know, it's sad, but there will be brighter days ahead. There will be brighter days ahead. Paul Gribben, very, very poor reality check. We ain't that good yet. Our Bayers Wolves game in today's show, we have one eye on the Cup semi. We've seen this 2 years ago, league form. Stuff like Paul Featherstone, do we need this reminder that we are fallible? Paul and Murphy so poor. Arctic Blastoise, huge reality check for us there. We must bring in something new this window. Centre backs too slow. Isak absent. Murphy awful. Terrible passing. Shake it up. Get fresh energy. Keep pushing. Save the Rhino. Agree. It was a repeat of midweek performance. Tonali burns so sloppy. SKS 010. We need players that have technical ability that can create something out of nothing. Rugby analyst. What's going on? Bournemouth were good. They didn't let us settle correct. Pauline Huyson, Semenyo, Kluivert had great games. Bournemouth deserved that win. The team was so poor. We seem to have just succumbed to being outsmarted by Bournemouth. Possibly, a bit of that. Rugby analyst. Gordon had 2 off the line, but overall wasn't great. Dean C, sorry, Hull was very poor. Rugby analyst again, they pressed us high, never let us settle, that's correct. Daniel 4224, we were lucky to come away with 1 point from the 2 league games against Bournemouth. I feel Iraola is a better tactician than Howe, and they were set up perfectly against us. Hey, I'm telling you what, Iraola will do that to bigger names than Eddie Howe. I'm a big fan of his work. I haven't seen Bournemouth quite a bit this season. I think they're an excellent, well-drilled side who all know their roles. They've been very unlucky with injuries in recent weeks, but it hasn't faltered their form. I think they're on a big unbeaten run. They're an outstanding team, and he's done an outstanding job. Rugby analyst Hall was not good. Livramento not good either. James Rowell, since Tino got his England call, he hasn't been the same. I disagree with that, James. I don't think Tino Livramento has had the on-the-ball quality even before his England call, and I think that's problematic. Malbayat hat-trick Kluivert going to be a headline tomorrow, Liam. You could have that one for free. Yeah, there'll be no headlines on that from me. Save the Rhino. Bruno was solid, made some great passes, but teammates was wasteful. Charlie Smith, is this the Wembley shakes creeping in again? I just don't even think we need to think about anything like that, because they're not even at Wembley. Dean says so many passes gave away. Rugby analyst again. I think we have to have a serious conversation about 4-4-2 when we are losing. It does not work well for us, hasn't for West Ham, Brentford, and now today. Mark Byers, Tino needs to practice crossing, but Trippier is also off the boil. Whatever's happened. Rugby analyst Livramento has been decent, really good in some games, but last 2 being poor. Tony, Eddie Howe was tactically outclassed. That's absolutely fair. Paul N, I think this game shows our lack of depth. Alan Hall, this is why Eddie Howe will never be top class. Come on, you know, it's been a good win and run. I'm not going to sort of sit here and use this as some kind of Eddie Howe booting session. He was outclassed by Iraola today. His players were too. but they've been on a good run, so I can't complain too much. Graham Doherty, too many went missing today. Holland's worst game of the season, correct. Arctic Blastoise, there was zero creativity. We allowed them to bully us all game, and some players were super lazy. Rugby analyst Iraola did a job on how, correct. Kenny W is still going to Wembley. I don't know. Who knows? Jinky, they thought we just had to show up today. We couldn't shake it off for the rest of the game. Tony Timebridge, Livermentals benefit from whole praise because they get lumped together. Yeah, I think one's been excellent this season. I don't think the other one's been excellent. But I think some people, this isn't really a criticism of some fans, but I think some fans build up these images of footballers in their head, and they cannot divorce themselves from the image that they've built up in their head. So in a lot of people's head, Livermental is absolutely brilliant and cannot be critiqued for his poor performances. I don't think he's had a very good season, and I think it's just like you say, there is a little bit of that people don't want to say it, but it's all right. It doesn't mean, it's not a personal thing. You're just judging somebody's performance, and it's okay for somebody to be good one year and not good the next. It happens. It's life. Jody Jesus, Tonali and Doug's our best players today. Back four was shocking. Isak and Murphy anonymous. Bournemouth played us off the park. Paul N, Bournemouth deserved that. Rugby analyst Almiron did not play today because he's leaving. KS Ball UK, absolutely shocking in the game management again. Beaten by one or two players who will drop out the European places. Rugby analyst, it was never a 4-1 game. 2 late goals, but we did not deserve a point. I think it was. I think it was a 4-1 game. Personally, I think it was. Dutch Tune, shocking for a sec. I thought I was watching our youth team. Rugby analyst 4-4-2 off the bench is not good, has not worked. Richard James, it was a reality check. Ball in, we need total revision. Same after the Bolton crap game. What? I'm baffled by that comment. Explain it maybe. Case Ball UK, no signings, then bye Isak. Tony, I agree, was poor today. We were poor today as we were against Wolves. Dutch Tune, Bournemouth deserved that. It was shocking. Wahi Wahab, what a colossal waste of time. This video, possibly, or watching the game, I don't know. Riot Hassan, dirty Bournemouth win by cheating. I'm not going down there. I didn't think that. Look, they deserved to win today. Ryan Martin thinks it's a reality check. Rod Cole thinks Bournemouth's persistent fouling was ridiculous. TVC15, hopefully a blip, we move on. Another run. Gary V, players look tired and came through in their possession and passing. Mad Mac, cherry picked, I like it. Mark Weir, reality was they played better than us one of those days. Richard James, how much did their team cost? I have no idea. Dale, they've bought some good players though, and they've spent a fair bit of money recently in getting some of them. Dale, is there such a thing as a good loss to keep us grounded and remind everyone not to get carried away? Kenzie XII, 0 positives there. I don't know how we'll react to this. Jed Headley, we're very poor. We didn't deserve it. It was lazy defending, just not up for it. Archie Blastai, PSR holds his team back from growing so much. Dutch Tune, Areola will be a great Howe replacement. Where's some of this going, man? Nathan Sweeney, hats off to Bournemouth today. Deserved it. And D is Shearer thinking, wish I'd kept me gob shut. David Bartel, we need to stop Bruno picking the ball at the back. Always like you get caught in possession. The way that they played, they just totally dismantled Newcastle's midfield, didn't allow them to sit in the pockets and take control and have positions that they normally do. So Bruno was having to drift into the 6 and Tonali was often on the left in the 8, and it was just, because of the way they played, they totally dismantled Newcastle's midfield. It was a class performance from them. Jolly Jesus, set pieces were dreadful, they were. Mark Byers, let's not forget Bournemouth were riddled with injuries as well, they were, but that first team was excellent on paper, and I thought that before the game. John Mitchinson, in my opinion, we got off lightly, could have been at least 6 correct. Richard James, I never liked Kluivert's dad. English Rob here, Kluivert's dad, I remember getting my season ticket signed by him once in what was the little, I might be showing my age here, next to Icon, or the Oxford as people would call it, in a slightly older persuasion. I remember I used to go there on a Saturday night, and I remember getting my season ticket signed by Kluivert, but he was in that little, there was like a, I don't know, it was like a little club connected to Icon on the side. He was in there more often than not. You could go in there on any given night during the week or the weekend and you'd see Patrick Kluivert propping up the bar. English Rob, PIF, get your fingers out, stop with this PSR nonsense. PIF did not create PSR. Geordie JJ, this is why I agreed with you saying we are not title contenders. Hal for me shows too much respect for his previous club. All I need a total review to get our confidence back. Kenny W, wasn't that Bournemouth reserves? It wasn't, but they were missing a few players, and it wasn't Bournemouth reserves. Probably they're missing a right back. Midfield, I would have moved into midfield. That would have been a full strength, and they're missing a centre forward, so not really. Wasn't Bournemouth reserves. Tonali can hold his head up the rest off it today. That was from JNCO. Nathan Sweeney, why is Kluivert always class against us? He is. Chris Phillips, unfortunately well beaten all over the park. Power. We looked to plug the battery in. Bournemouth. Copy and paste by Bournemouth. I don't know what that means. Sorry, I lost your comment altogether there. DEC, Tonali played his heart out. Mad Mac cherry picked. You get what you deserve. Joshua, Ronaldo or Messi, I'm not getting into that debate, man. They're both finished. There you are. Sean, hats off to Bournemouth today. They fully deserved the victory. Pete Davey, thanks for getting the comments, mate. Awful performance, but let's not forget we won 9 in a row. Perspective needed to be had here. Let's hit back next week. I don't think there was a discernible difference between what we're seeing on Wednesday and what we're seeing tonight. It's just the level of opposition was much, much better. That's my opinion. That's what the lads were shouting at us for. They didn't agree. Do you agree? I don't. I don't think there was a massive difference between performances. I thought Newcastle was sloppy and scrappy on Wednesday, but played against a rubbish team, really, who didn't take their chances and gifted goals and chances and opportunities to Newcastle United. I've never seen. There was 2 centre halves today who never gave Isak an inch. There was 2 centre halves on Wednesday night who were marking themselves. They certainly weren't marking anybody else in the box. I've never seen the second and third goals. I can't remember what one of them was. It was either the second or third one. The centre half decided to go mark his own fullback instead of the centre forward standing in the middle. I've never seen some shambolic defensive 101 errors as what we're seeing in that game, and that was the difference, I think. Tommy Shep, spot on lane. The warning was there on Wednesday night. Unfortunately, it spilled over into today's game. Bournemouth schooled us today. Not one player played well. Week to rest up and go again. Dutch 2 and Tonali and Dubs were the only ones. Kenny W, I don't think in 85 minutes Isak should take a free kick with trips on. I did. I was saying give it to him. He's never had a kick the day. He's never had a chance to take the free kick. Joshua, Ronaldo or Messi again. They're both finished. Messi still probably though. Jody JJ, I have to say Bournemouth were impressive. English Rob, the players got too big for their boots. I don't think that is that. Teddy's Toon TV. We've been on an amazing run, which is always going to end. What matters is how we respond. Keep the faith. Phil Downey, second to every ball. When we reached the ball, it bounced off us. Right, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it because I have a lot of work to do today. And I'm sure there's other things you all want to be doing with your Saturday afternoons. But we have got, there's 300 people on here, 64 watching. Should I cut it? Just wants to cut it. Let's have a look. Oh, God, I'll never get through these comments. I don't think I'll ever get through these comments, unfortunately. There's so many people getting involved in this now that I decided to read every comment. I just can't. It's amazing though. It really is amazing. Anyway, I'm going to have to cut it because I've got work to do. Lots of work to do. Lots of weekend slots to fill on Newcastle World. Right, I'll be back with an analysis video later on. It wasn't the day that Newcastle United wanted. It wasn't the day Eddie Howe wanted. And it was a big day for Bournemouth. They were absolutely outstanding and put in probably the best away performance I've seen here in a long time. It was excellent. Newcastle weren't. But I don't really think they were that much worse than what they were on Wednesday. They just played a lot better team. As Joe rolls his eyes. There's a lot of people agreeing with me in the comments, Joe. I think you're outliers here. But I'll fight me cause and I'll fight the corner for you guys out there as well. Right. Good night, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, whenever you watch this. It wasn't the day you wanted, but it wasn't the day I wanted either. But we go again next week. And there'll be plenty more from the Geordie Journals in between. Keep an eye out for the analysis video. That'll be coming this evening, where we'll have plenty of things to say about what we just saw. Thanks everybody for getting involved. Thanks for the likes, the shares, the comments, whatever it is. And I'll see you soon.